Automation Anywhere has rolled out its .32 release. And so that means I get to highlight the top 5 developer features right here and right now. From the game changers to must-haves, let's count down from number 5 all the way to my best feature in this release. Let's dive in and see what this release has in store for us. Starting with number 5, enhanced JSON handling capabilities. We have expanded on the JSON capabilities to make it easier for you to perform modifications on a JSON object. Whether you want to add a new node and the corresponding value, or if you want to update the existing JSON, the new actions in the JSON package can help you do this. Also, if you want to convert a JSON to a dictionary variable and then perform data manipulating operations, it is possible. And then if you want to convert it back to JSON so that you can pass the JSON to the API, you can use the convert dictionary to JSON action to do this. Eventually, this will help developers build API tasks. Moving on to number 4, desktop automations in Process Composer. The more mature automation programs that we see have evolved from automating tasks to automating full processes and even functions. What does that mean in the way they are building? They're looking at providing robust automation solutions for their business partners by often including humans in the loop for validation, exception handling, and escalations. All with the combination of taskbots, API tasks, forms, and processes. With this new .32 release, developers have even more flexibility as to decide when and where the taskbots defined within a process actually execute. Whereas all taskbots within a process previously executed unattended. But now Automation Copilot users can have their automations executed right within their desktop, keeping their sensitive data within their on-premise environments. The dedicated bot runners assigned to these Automation Copilot users provides the response in a flash, helping the executives in the customer service business. With this release, 2 new automation execution modes are introduced. Let's talk about the local execution in main window. When you choose this option, the automation executes right in the main window of your device. Once the automation is executed, you will see an entry in the audit log. To make this happen, you will need an attended license and also a default device setup. If you do not have a default device setup, then it will default back to remote execution. Moving on to talk about local execution in child window. When you choose this option, the automation executes in your device but in an independent child window. That means you will still have your machine to work on all your other tasks while the automation is still getting executed as part of the independent child window. Next, at number 3, enhancements to Automation Copilot for Automators. This enhancement enables developers to do a lot more with this Gen AI powered capability. With the previous release of .31, developers were able to build basic taskbots and processes with this functionality. Now, with this .32 release, we have expanded the capabilities even further to include support for API tasks, approval tasks, and documentation tasks in Process Composer. Simultaneous addition and updation is now supported. Managing variables in Bot Editor. Support for conditional statements in both Process Composer and Bot Editor, and support iterative statements like loops in Bot Editor. All in all, this functionality has been enhanced, and thank you for your feedback. And this is now helping users to build more robust automations. Next, on to the number 2 feature, Generative Recorder and Resilient Automation. Introducing the Generative Recorder. You know how frustrating it is when you build an automation of a SaaS application and then you figure out that there has been a change in the UX and because of which your automations have been failing. You don't have to worry anymore. With our new generative recorder, you can count on smoother automations even with the most unreliable web pages. Here are the two options you have. Recorder native fallback. This feature acts as a safety net by capturing multiple XPaths for identifying an object. These XPaths are then carefully assessed to identify their suitability for the current business application. When it's time to identify an object, only the most suitable and the one that works will be selected to identify an object, ensuring smooth execution. Generative AI-based fallback. If the object you want to perform an action on is not detected within the specific timeout, then you can leverage Gen AI-based fallback to get the properties of this object, thereby decreasing the possibility of the recorder action failure due to the changes in the UI elements or the dynamic properties. When generative AI-based fallback is enabled, a call request is made to the generative AI model and then the response goes through another round of validation before the fallback is initiated. The data related to the UI element is only used after redaction and anonymization. Business application data that is not related to the UI element is not used. And every time an generative AI fallback is used, the notifications panel and the audit log will show an alert. Now, you may ask if it is possible to use both kind of fallbacks if needed. And the answer is yes. When both fallback options are enabled, the automation will first use the native fallback and try to identify the object on which it is performing an action. If it is still not identified, then it will use the generative AI-based fallback to identify the object and perform the relevant action. Now, let's talk about the resilient automation. Do you want to know how the automation execution ended, whether it was a successful transaction or a failed one? Now, you have an option to record automation executions. Use the resiliency settings in Automation 360 to configure what type of automation executions you want to record, whether you want to record all transactions or just the failed executions. And then you can also choose the duration for which the executions should be recorded. And also you can configure the number of days these recordings have to be stored in the database. All these recordings are securely encrypted, ensuring data privacy and protection. Only the authorized users will have an option to download these recordings for playback, providing a secure and convenient way to review automation executions. Saving the best for the last. My favorite feature for this release, introducing Connector Builder. Think of it as your custom package builder. It's designed to make life easier for automation developers who want to quickly develop a package based on making API-based connections to other applications. So, if you are familiar with REST API concepts, this tool will open a new whole world for you. Here's the deal. You can build new API-based custom packages by just importing Swagger and Postman definitions. No need to worry about any coding intricacies. Connector Builder tool will do the heavy lifting for you behind the scenes by using REST SDK and also our package SDK to create new packages. These packages can be used in both API tasks as well as taskbots. Imagine the possibilities. You can now create packages to connect to your popular services or even to your own custom apps that supports APIs. No more waiting for the official packages to come out. With this connector builder tool, you are in the driver's seat of the automation. There was so much in this release, but I could not help myself but to showcase one additional feature which a lot of you have been asking for: hiding the automation progress window or the runtime window. Runtime window blocks a large portion of the screen, especially when the automations are executed in low resolution devices. So now you have an option to turn on or off the bot runtime window so that this screen is minimized while the automations are executed. It's available in both Run Now and Schedule Wizards. After upgrading to this release, this option is enabled by default. However, you can always choose to disable if you would like to see the automation progress window while the automations are being executed. And that wraps up my rundown of the top 5 features in this .32 release. Stay tuned. We are going to come back with a lot of more materials in Automation Anywhere University. We are talking about hands-on exercises so that you can learn all these new goodies. But wait, I want to hear from you, our amazing Automation Anywhere developer community. Which feature did you like in the .32 release? Please do let us know in the comment section, and we are eagerly looking forward to know which is your top feature. All right, folks, that's all from my side for now. I am Arjun Esmeda. Thank you for watching and go be great.